The VP debate is here tonight between Governor Walz and J.D. Vance, which means we go back to the MAGA tradition of whining and claiming that the debate is going to be rigged and, oh, so very unfair to J.D. Vance and Donald Trump. In this case, J.D. Vance is the one debating. So here's what J.D. Vance emails. He goes, "My prediction for tomorrow night." This is what he sends to his supporters, not the prediction that he's going to go out and have a great debate and deliver a heartfelt message with policy details and I'm going to connect with the American people. No, that would be the way people ran for office in the past in the Republican Party before Donald Trump. But here's what it says in J.D. Vance's email. 24-hour alert from J.D. Vance. In 24 hours, I'll be facing my dangerously radical opponent, Tim Walz, for the first and only time on the debate stage. I have a pretty good idea how tomorrow will go down. 1, the biased moderators will tee up softball questions for Tim. 2, I'm going to be ambushed by the fake news media and hit with bogus fact checks. But don't worry, I've been preparing for weeks. And 3, no matter how badly I beat him, liberal mega donors are going to flood their campaign with millions in dirty dollars. So it's going to be a pivotal moment for the campaign. I mean, this is just the biggest loser attitude in the world. It's going to be unfair. They're going to gang up on me. They're going to cheat. It's going to be rigged. Speaking of which, Donald Trump gave this bizarre interview on Fox last night as well, where he echoed that message. And he said that the debate tomorrow night is going to be, that's what he said yesterday, is going to be rigged against Vance. And Donald Trump said that he would love to do more debates against Vice President Kamala Harris, but he says they'll all be too rigged. Everything's too rigged for him, he says. That's why he's not doing it. Here, play this clip.
And I just believe when you see the end of that debate, are you going to let that be the last word of presidential debates of this season, end of your career, or are you going to want one more?
I would love to have 2 or 3 more debates. I like it. I enjoy it. But they're so rigged and so stacked. You'll see it tomorrow with JD. It'll be stacked.
By the way, let me show you what Vice President Kamala Harris said in Las Vegas, Nevada, about debating Donald Trump and about the debate with Governor Walz and J.D. Vance. Play this clip.
And in 2 days, I know we will cheer on Coach Walz when he debates J.D. Vance. Yeah. But listen, also, their debate should not be the last word. I'm trying to debate Donald Trump again, and I think he should debate again. The American people have a right to hear us discuss the issues. And as you say here in Las Vegas, I'm all in. I'm all in. Even if my opponent is ready to fold. So there you go.
And folks, this is just what we've come to expect with MAGA as they've taken over the Republican Party. And as I've said, this is not really to me, a political thing. It's just it's a victim mentality. And those who teach on cults will tell you that one of the things cult leaders often do to try to rally support is to always say they're the victim. Everyone's ganging up on me. They're all trying to make me look bad. I need your help so badly. They're not just coming after me. If they come after me, they're coming after you as well. It's just their playbook, right? So before the debate where Donald Trump got destroyed by Vice President Kamala Harris, what did Donald Trump do? He held that bizarre press conference in New York City where he started also talking about all of his sexual assault victims and said that he couldn't sexually assault them because they're not the chosen one. Remember he was saying that? I covered that. But then he also said the debates are all going to be rigged and very unfair on ABC. And then he says, because George Stephanopoulos works for ABC, even though he's not the moderator, he's a Slopadopoulos, and therefore Slopadopoulos is going to make it unfair. Here's what Donald Trump said before his debate with Vice President Kamala Harris. Play this clip.
I'm going into very hostile territory shortly on a debate with ABC, George Slopadopoulos and that group. And ABC, I think, is the worst of everybody. I think they're the worst. They're the nastiest. They're as bad as you can be. They're worse than NBC, which is saying a lot. And we have something coming. And the reason I'm doing it is because that's the only one that she would do it with. because her best friend is the head of ABC or ABC News, and her husband's best friend is married to that one. So, and Donna Brazile is there. You remember the famous Donna Brazile? She gave Hillary Clinton the questions. You remember that? That was a little embarrassing. She got fired, I assume, for that. But now she's working at ABC.
So then naturally after the debate, when Vice President Kamala Harris just destroyed him objectively, like it wasn't even close, then Donald Trump whined. He does this in every one of his speeches. He whines at length about the debate, which he says was a horrible situation and rigged, but also he did great, he says. One of his best debates, but it was rigged and unfair. Watch what he says after. Play this clip.
Fakers on a microphone. Oh, she did very well tonight. She did very well. She did very well. She couldn't put two sentences together. Take a look at her answers. And it was 3-on-1, too. ABC ought to be ashamed. It was 3-on-1. And actually, it's also interesting because after that horrible situation, because it's the fake news all over again. Fake news. You got a lot of them back here, by the way. But it's the fake news. But you know what? My numbers, look at the numbers today. The numbers are higher than they've ever been. We've never had numbers this good. So something happened that was pretty good. But it was interesting. I couldn't believe, I thought she was so bad. I came off that stage, I said, she was so bad. You know, one of the things, he's the GOAT of debates. I said, is that a good thing or a bad thing? They said, greatest of all time, 21 debates. And I thought that was one of my best debates. But, you know, after they spin better than anybody. Well, I don't know if I thought he did too well tonight. And wasn't she really terrific? She didn't say anything except lies like a bloodbath, like Charlottetown.
And then you get all of his surrogates like Wayne Allen Root and others. They're all saying this. I'm just going to show you one of his surrogates because I could show you 1,000 videos like this. You get the point. Then they all go on stage and they're like, but I told him he did a really good job after the debate, but it was rigged and it was so unfair against him. Here, play this clip.
Holy crap, Trump's calling. And so right in front of my friends, I pick up the phone and Trump says, Wayne, how did I do tonight? And I'll tell you what I told him. I said, you did fantastic. You kicked her ass. But, this is what I said. This was 7 minutes after the debate ended. I said, but it was rigged. They cheated. They gave her the questions. They gave her every question.
And then Fox always kicks into high gear. And then like Hannity says, the debate's always unfair. And that's what they always say leading up to the debate too. This is what Hannity said. Play this clip.
No, which is sad. The American people have a right to know where a candidate stands. And I think this is wearing on people. We'll see. ABC, Disney, Bob Iger, hello, it's your company. Maybe he doesn't want conservatives at his theme parks. I don't know. We'll see.
And by the way, this is what Donald Trump does all the time, right? Like when Ted Cruz beat him in the Iowa caucus in 2016, remember what Donald Trump posted back then on February 3rd of 2016? It was post. He said, Ted Cruz didn't win Iowa, he stole it. This is why all the polls were so wrong and why he got far more votes than anticipated. Bad. Based on the fraud committed by Senator Ted Cruz during the Iowa caucus, either a new election should take place or Cruz results nullified. The state of Iowa should disqualify Ted Cruz from the most recent election on the basis that he cheated. A total fraud. Our editor-in-chief, Ron Filipkowski, puts it succinctly here. For Donald Trump, the polls, all rigged. His civil fraud trial, rigged. The January 6th committee, rigged. Bannon and Navarro trials, rigged. Rudy Giuliani trial, rigged. His criminal trial, rigged. All of the election lawsuits, including those in front of judges he appointed where he lost, rigged. The E. Jean Carroll trial, rigged. Trump University, rigged. Pulitzer Prize, rigged. Academy Awards, rigged. The 2022 election, rigged. The 2020 election, rigged. The debate, rigged. For Donald Trump, everything. He says all of those things are rigged. And then he goes out and sells trinkets like this. Like, just look at what they're selling today. Like, again, this is such like I watched them. What the heck is this? They're selling Donald Trump Christmas ornaments. Look at this. What the heck? And at least his hands are the right size there. Mark Elias, great election lawyer, top election lawyer in this country, though. He put it correctly on MSNBC where he was saying, look, part of the strategy of Republicans, which comes from the authoritarian playbook, is if you make everybody believe that everything is rigged, maybe you can suppress people's desire to participate if they don't think that that anything matters. So just try to overwhelm people and wear them out and make them feel exhausted and make them feel like all of this stuff is just icky and to stay away from. Here's what Mark Elias says. Play this clip.
Look, we all have a role to play. I'm proud the work that I and my lawyers at my law firm do every day to fight for voting rights in court. I'm proud of the job that hundreds of lawyers around the country working for the Democratic Party, working for other nonprofit organizations do every day in fighting for democracy. But this is not going to be won just by lawyers preventing the worst of the worst from happening. It is going to be won because every person who is listening to this, every person who believes in free and fair elections and in a better future for our country is going to make sure that they are registered to vote. They're going to check and make sure they're registered. They're going to have a plan to vote. They're going to know what the rules are if they've changed in their state, and they're going to vote. And I think if we all do that and we participate in this process and we don't let the cynics win. Donald Trump wants you to believe that all is lost. He wants Georgia voters to believe that there's no point in participating because the system is rigged. And I'm here to tell you we're going to fight those to make sure that doesn't happen, but we need to make sure everyone is registered and everyone votes.
All right, Mark, you are sticking with us.
Right, and this is what Donald Trump's doing now leading up to the 2024 election because he and the MAGAs are not just laying the groundwork to say all the debates are rigged and polls are rigged. He's going to say when he loses the election that it was rigged, and he's going to try to lead another insurrection. Do you have any doubt that that's what he's going to try to do? Of course he's doing the same playbook right now over and over again. Like here he is at a recent speech where he said that, the Democrats are cheating with the votes already. And again, he's lying and spreading this disinformation. Here, play this clip.
Vote, you can start right away. You know that, right? Now we have this stupid stuff where you can vote 45 days early. I wonder what the hell happens during that 45. Let's move see these votes. We've got about 1 million votes in there. Let's move them. We're fixing the air conditioner in the room, right? No, it's terrible. What happened the last time was disgraceful, including right here. But we're not going to let it happen again. Too big to rig, right? That's one way you do it. Can't let it happen. We got to take our country back from these horrible people because if we win Pennsylvania, we win the whole thing. It's very simple.
And for them, everything is a lie. And so as, we want to pay attention to what goes down at the debate tomorrow. I mean, I wonder if J.D. Vance will be using one-liners like this, where just watch what he says. He's obviously it's like he's discussing Donald Trump here, but he goes, we never had a faker, more fraudulent person run for president. Here, play this clip.
We've never had a faker, more fraudulent person run for president of the United States. And we got to remind people of that every single day.
Then he claims that Vice President Kamala Harris is faking her race.
Donald Trump said something very simple, totally inoffensive, but frankly, obviously true to me, which is that Kamala Harris is a chameleon. She's a fake, and the American people have to look at her record if we actually want to know how she stands on the issues, because her words simply can't be trusted. Sir.
How can you fake your race? If
I'm sorry?
Both Indian and black, how can she fake her race?
She fakes who she is depending on the audience that she's in front of, and that's who she is, and that's who she's always been. Sir.
And here, J.D. Vance, he's asked a question by reporters on interest rates being lowered by the Fed. And because Donald Trump and J.D. Vance have turned the world of their weird cult supporters upside down, when they're asked about interest rates being lowered, people are booing that the Fed lowered interest rates, which helps them. Play this clip.
Really quickly, just on the Fed cutting, it's a very Wall Street Journal-y question, but the Fed cut the interest rate today by 0.5 percentage point, going to alleviate inflation for a lot of people. And so if you have any reaction to that, we'd love it.
Well, look, my reaction is my reaction is a 0.5 point is nothing compared to what American families have been dealing with for the last 3 years.
same thing yesterday, like or 2 days ago, when Donald Trump was saying how much he hates overtime and people shouldn't get overtime and he wouldn't pay overtime. And the crowd was cheering for not getting paid overtime. Like, what in the world are they talking about? Here's Governor Walz, though, is talking about J.D. Vance's desire just to be ruthless at all costs. Play this clip.
They drew up the playbook. They know. But I want to tell you something. It's what and how they think about this. My opponent, Senator Vance, had a quote that you read it and you hear it, you gloss over it. But think about how deeply disturbing this is. He said that when they get power, and they will use the Project 2025, they need to be ruthless when it comes to the exercise of power. Who says ruthless in the exercise of power who's running for a democratically elected position? This is not about power, this is about public service. This is not about power, it's about governing.
And here Governor Walz is talking about J.D. Vance getting asked that question about interest rates. Play the clip.
We saw Senator Vance lead an audience when he said, well, they reduced interest rates this week. How terrible is that? And he got the crowd booing. Who boos for lower interest rates? Venture capitalists, apparently.
There you have it. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 4 million subscribers together. But for Donald Trump, everything is rigged. Rigged.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.